We now know why Tesla is not getting the $7,500 subsidy for some of the vehicles, while Volkswagen is getting $7,500 for a vehicle that is smaller in terms of its width, its length, and also total cargo capacity. And you would think that maybe perhaps it's because this car has all-wheel drive, but then Tesla also has all-wheel drive for all of these models, and yet Tesla is not going to have this higher $80,000 limit, making it very difficult for Tesla to get that credit. Everyone seems to be quite upset. What makes everything even worse is this right here. Look at all these vehicles, and then look at their range: 23 miles, 31 miles, 37, 25, 21, and they are all getting a $7,500 credit. You can see their MSRP right here. And then Model Y gets a range of 330 miles. Also, it's a lot more efficient, and it gets a 0 credit. Even Elon replied to Farzad here saying this is messed up. And as you remember, Elon was against the CV credit in the first place, saying that Tesla does not need it. But sure, we will take it. And I mean, if you are giving it to others, then you have to be fair. But now it looks like the government is perhaps colluding against Tesla with other automakers, perhaps? And of course, even Gary Black is saying that Tesla should file a protest with the IRS for the inconsistencies in IRA EV cap. Everyone is disgusted by what is going on here. So here is the actual explanation. This happens to be from a parody account, but this seems to actually look legitimate, and we'll go through the actual reasons how Model Y is not actually qualifying for the credit. So the IRA splits EVs into two categories: other and truck, van, SUV. This is key because other autos only qualify for the tax credit if MSRP plus options is under $55,000, while SUVs, vans, trucks may be priced up to $80,000 while still qualifying for the $7,500 rebate. And of course, Model Y variants all start between $55,000 and $80,000, so this is very important. So a Model Y with 7 seats is classified as an SUV, but when it has 5 seats, it is no longer an SUV. So I'm going to keep it simple for you guys, but you can pause and read if you like to read the whole thing. But basically, we need to look at this one thing, which then references this other thing, which then, when we look at this other thing, it references yet again another thing. And it's all entangled and it's just confusing. I'm so happy I decided not to become a lawyer. I would be dealing with this stuff every single day if I was a lawyer. So first, what is their definition of an SUV? You'll find it interesting. It is a non-passenger automobile. So a non-passenger automobile means an automobile that is not a passenger automobile or a work truck and includes vehicles described in paragraphs A and B of this section. I will simplify for you guys, so don't get too stressed here. It is actually quite easy to answer why the 7-seat Model Y does get the credit, but it is a lot more difficult to answer why the 5-seat Model Y is not getting the credit. So here we go. To get the credit, you need to meet at least one of these criteria right here. Doesn't matter which one, as long as you meet one of them, you get the credit. So which one does the 7-seater Model Y, which criteria does it meet? Transport more than 10 persons, definitely not. Provide temporary living quarters, good enough for one night's sleep if you are camping. But it does not have a sink, stove, refrigerator, or a toilet. So this is definitely a no. And there's no bed, so that's a no. And then if I scroll down just a little bit, we arrive at this paragraph, which says for vehicles equipped with at least 3 rows of designated seating positions as standard equipment. So that's why the 7-seater does get the credit. And this right here will explain why Volkswagen ID gets the $7,500 credit while the 5-seater Model Y does not get it. So an automobile capable of off-highway operation is indicated by the fact that it has the 4-wheel drive, which both the Volkswagen ID4 and Model Y, they do have 4-wheel drives. So we don't really need 6,000 pounds as long as we have the 4-wheel drive option here. And it has to have at least 4 of the following characteristics. And as you can see here, it's basically, just to make it super simple, it's a car that can go over a lot of difficult terrain, because it does require, for example, a certain amount of clearance, which is 20 centimeters. So this is nowhere near as bad as we perhaps initially thought, because Tesla could make some changes to the Model Y perhaps. Basically, what happened, it appears that Volkswagen raised the suspension by a little bit, and that, I guess, makes them qualify for the credit. If you try to order the Volkswagen ID4, it appears that you won't actually be able to see the exact specs, I guess, because they might change them because of tax credit. This meme account is estimating that if Tesla does raise the car a little bit higher, it would come at a penalty of 2% in terms of range. So you're giving Tesla an incentive to make a vehicle that is not as efficient, but the incentive is supposed to be for making more efficient cars. That definitely makes sense because it's from the government. So is all of this a shot at Tesla? Is this corruption? Is this incompetence? What is this? Why doesn't this government agency just use EPA's classification of these vehicles? Why? Why? Like, seriously, why? I can understand generally, well, they need to keep their jobs and they need to create work for themselves because it's, government. And government is really good at creating more unnecessary work. That's one of their competencies. Of course, it does not help when Elon Musk fights the government. Perhaps this is what it is all about as well. But the good news is, it is somewhat clear what Tesla needs to do. They just need to raise the suspension a little bit and it will be just fine. And even if somehow the government still, changes the requirements again, because Tesla is so innovative, it will overcome any obstacles that the government tries to throw at Tesla. Just look back at what happened during the virus when we had a chip shortage. Tesla was able to take chips that it would normally not use and use those. It was just fine. Other automakers? Well, they were not. If you haven't marked your calendars yet, this is when we should be getting the numbers for production and deliveries from Tesla. I'll be watching these carefully tomorrow. For those of you who are not happy looking at your portfolios, just keep in mind it's not just Tesla. There are other big, potentially good companies that also have not done exactly great. Some more good news: new car inventory in Germany on January 1st, 0. Same thing goes for Norway, as well as France and Spain as well, 0 inventory. And here we can see total new inventory in the US. As you can see, it has come down substantially. Now note that this includes Model S and X as well, which did have inventory build up. And now the inventory level for Model S and X is coming down. Let's see how that continues. Of course, we know that Tesla only just now started exporting these to Europe and China. So of course, the inventory will probably very quickly disappear. Let's see how long that takes. And these are 48 reasons why I only own Tesla stock in my stock portfolio. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.